If you visit Colonial Williamsburg and order a steaming bowl of Brunswick Stew at Chowning's Tavern, you will be able to enjoy a delicious meal that's been made for probably over 300 years. The big changes are it's no longer cooked over a wood fire, and that squirrel that you had to go out and shoot yourself has been replaced with chicken. In our case, a pre-cooked rotisserie chicken, making this a super easy, delicious, healthy meal. In our video, you're going to see 3 tips from a true Virginia cook, my Aunt Virginia, sharing the best way to have a wonderful bowl of Brunswick stew. Each day during the month of February, I will be using the $4.99 Costco rotisserie chicken as a springboard for a wide variety of easy, inexpensive, delicious meals that are generally very healthy. Tune in every day this month for a new recipe. Now that I have the chicken broth all ready to go, it's time for the Brunswick stew. Now, in addition to our rotisserie chicken, which I've already boned and has been in the fridge since yesterday, the big ingredients are, from left to right, 2 cans of tomatoes and corn, okra, lima beans, 2 onions, potatoes. Now, those are the basic ingredients. This is the recipe from the Williamsburg, I think it was Chowning's Tavern. But my Aunt Virginia, who was married to my Uncle Sutton, the one that burned the house down when he was a little boy, his wife said you just cannot have Brunswick stew without bacon. So I have some bacon that we will add. I know my husband loves bacon in it. Now, my other find, when I went to get potatoes, they had some potatoes on clearance for $1.50. Always check the produce clearance. If you're going to cook something really fast, it's a lot of times it's in perfect condition for cooking. So we'll add the potatoes and I will get rolling here. First thing I did was fry the bacon and then cut it up. You're supposed to have crumbled bacon. And then I took my onions and I sauteed them in my bacon grease. So there are little bits of bacon in here and all kinds of yummy flavor. Bacon. Onions. 2 cups of frozen okra. When they put them on sale, I stick them in my freezer. 4 cups of corn, 2 cans of tomatoes. Recipe calls for 3 medium potatoes. I've seen potatoes small enough you could eat them in a bite. I've also seen potatoes the size of a shoe. So I just do 4 cups of potatoes, however many potatoes works for you. And the last thing is our seasoning. Okay, so I've got a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of pepper, and a tablespoon of salt. Now I'm going to stir that up. You probably noticed I've not put the chicken in. I want the vegetables to get all cooked. Since my chicken is all cooked, I don't want it to be overcooked. So I'm going to wait to add that until the end. But that is my Brunswick stew. And here's the truth. It's most beautiful at this stage because when the okra cooks, it's going to get kind of a grayish green, and it's absolutely beautiful right now. So there it is. Here's the Brunswick stew. I cooked it long enough to make the potatoes nice and tender. All the vegetables are cooked. Kind of mushy in here. And I'm going to add the chicken. I turned off the heat and let it sit for several hours with the lid on it, and now I'm reheating it. All stews benefit from extended time, and this one is absolutely no exception. And now I'm going to add the chicken. This is the entire rest of the chicken. This is a huge pot. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's filled to the top. And I'm going to put the chicken in. And then it'll be ready to serve. And this is way, way more than we can eat in a meal. So what I'm going to be doing is putting it in some containers, labeling it very carefully with what it is and what the date is, and I will put it in the freezer, and that way on a cold day I can easily heat up Brunswick stew and have a delicious Brunswick stew for dinner. Now, according to Aunt Virginia, there are 3 things that make Brunswick stew really good. The first one is you don't eat it the first day, you eat it the second day, or you make it early in the day and reheat it. The second thing is, according to Aunt Virginia, bacon. And the third thing that Aunt Virginia's family loved to do was add a hot sauce. So maybe you have a favorite hot sauce. At their house, it was Tabasco, and that'll give it a nice kick. And boy, if we were eating this, we could eat this the whole week long. Brunswick stew with lima beans and corn and tomatoes and potatoes, chicken, and our really good homemade broth. And somewhere down in there is the okra. The okra kind of disappears. It kind of disintegrates as you cook it. But for those of you that think okra is slimy, it adds a real creaminess. Even if it's cooked to the point where you don't see it, it does add a lot of creaminess to it. So here's a wonderful Brunswick stew that I know my husband's going to be excited to eat. Kirby wants to say hello. Say hello, Kirby. He would really like to have some of this. This is all of the Brunswick stew. My husband ended up having to work late, so nobody ate it. And these are 48-ounce containers. Cottage cheese, yogurt containers, all of them hold 48 ounces, which is 6 cups. And I filled up 4 of them. This one's a little bit shy, but the rest are quite full, and I don't want to make them any more full because when I freeze them, they will expand. So I always leave plenty of room. And this should feed the 3 of us dinner. And so for the rest of winter, I can just pull out, all set and ready to go. These freeze beautifully. And I will simply label each one with what it is and the date. I've learned to put the year in case it gets lost in the freezer, so we'll know how old it is. But hopefully by the end of winter, all of these will be consumed. Nice, easy way to have a quick pre-made meal. Perfect meal for a cold day and a perfect freezer food to pull out and have a great meal. See you next time.